Bible scriptures
you have
that
no
back my
position.
shit
You have
up.
no,
What are you talking
you have no
about?
position.
You want me to
You
start
just
pulling out Bible scriptures? I will.
no,
All
you
right.
just keep going from Judaic theology to Islamic theology to Jewish theology to Hindu theology. Like you have no position.
Bart, you are a smart guy. You got a lot of things you can talk about. Why do you always gravitate toward this? Why don't you pick something else? Like talk about the science or something. Talk about the future.
Science is fucking gay, dude.
Why don't you talk about like how we're all gonna go to space?
Why don't we talk about God? Because that's what's interesting.
It's not interesting.
Well, let me explain
Well,
this
then
to you.
go
Let me
fuck
explain this to you.
off.
As an atheist, let me explain this to this atheist, right?
Yes, I mean,
So it says identity is a concept that refers to this aspect of existence. Okay. So the aspect of existing as something in particular. So you have this quality about this thing that you're describing to have the identity that you're giving it, right?
okay.
So with specific characteristics, all right? So an entity without an identity cannot exist because then it would be nothing, right? So by you saying God doesn't exist, by you giving God an identity, he does exist. You
Right.
just don't believe in
I
his
do.
existence.
No. This actually goes into my real, genuine belief about God as well, because God exists. You're completely true. He exists, but not in the way that you think he does. God is, in fact, a superorganism created from the linked up minds of believers to create this being that transcends individuals and but actually has real effects on this planet. So I do agree, God exists,
Have you been
but not.
smoking crack?
Yeah, no, this guy's bugging out.
Is
So
there some machine? Is there some powerful
no,
machine in
no, no,
the
no, no.
middle of the
To
earth that
exist
that's
is to
causing all
exist
this?
as something, and
I
it
think that there
means
was a
to
movie
exist
about that called
with a
Forbidden Planet.
particular identity. So God has this identity. We don't know all of God's qualities, which is the reason why we have faith in God, right? So within that concept of God and having faith, he can have any quality.
No, wait, Barth. Just let me finish this because I believe that like the dandelion grows within the soil, this God that I'm speaking of grows within the substrate of our minds.
You're still saying that he exists,
I am, but then
regardless of how. All right. So regardless of how you manifest it, his existence still stands.
it does, and I completely believe in this God. I believe in Allah. I believe in all the gods that people believe in because we are living in this world where there's competition between these superorganisms. Okay, and this competition is played out in our lives. You can see how in the Crusades, the Christian God fought against the Muslim Allah, right? Like
No,
almost like it was two.
no, that wasn't the case.
No, it
You
was
got
almost like two.
cognitive dissonance because you're believing
Yeah,
in
dude, you don't
mutually
know. Then you
exclusive
don't know
gods.
Islamic history. You don't know Islamic history. Then, so the
Right?
best way to describe Islamic history is going to be early Christianity. The Jewish Christians, the Ebionites, were robbed of their gospel. They had the gospel of Hebrews, the gospel of the Ebionites. This was erased. These people, okay, still existed and always existed since the beginning of Christianity. So when I mean a Muslim, I'm talking about the people that weren't accepted by Rome, pushed into Saudi Arabia, right? Not the Persians, Saudi Arabia. Now, all these people still had the same customs, Jewish customs, getting circumcised, pork, and all of that, right? And as
That
later
doesn't.
on, as things
That
developed,
you're hit
their history
hard.
was always erased from them. So them having a gospel of Muhammad, right? They call it the Quran. This was their time of divinity. So to say that Islam is separate from Christianity or Judaism is ridiculous. Because the moment Christianity existed was the moment Islam started. There is no other way. Or should I even say Judaism? They all existed.
Bro, what are you saying,
That's not
dude?
what I'm saying, though. I'm
Yeah,
hearing you.
What are you saying,
your
dude?
history story doesn't negate the battle of the organisms, the giant
That,
organ,
Doesn't even make sense, dude.
it
yeah,
doesn't matter.
the god organisms exist, and even though the origins of each of these factions slash organisms may differ, and you may be right, I don't know. That doesn't negate the fact that yes,
Dang,
there.
I got the video for you if you want to learn about early Christianity because it has Islam all over it. And to say that Islamic people weren't part of Christianity is just
He
completely
never said that.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
saying
I
I'll
don't.
say this. It
I
seems
don't.
like you're not receptive to my idea. I'll tell you one thing: your God, the God that you keep referring to, would never had the
yeah.
makings of a city athlete.
You can say whatever you want about the God.
Did anyone
I
here?
mean that doesn't
And,
bother me.
and he and he, and he just did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
not
know what the
insulted by any way.
definition of a
I don't
Muslim
need to
is? You know what?
defend
I
God.
don't think
I
he
just
intended
defend
to
his
insult
existence.
you.
I just
Bart,
defend
do
his
you
existence.
do you know that we think Moses was a Muslim?
To think
We
what?
believe we believe Moses was a
Yeah, here-
Muslim, like how we define what a
No,
Muslim.
let me tell you something. Joseph,
Which
okay,
one?
the husband of
I'm
Mary,
talking to you about
Which
Moses,
one?
could
man.
be Muslim, and it
Why you
wouldn't
shifting
change the
to
story for me
Joseph?
at all.
Okay, but it
Honestly,
doesn't matter
honestly, the
because
disciples,
you're
half the
conflating
disciples
a
that
lot
we
of
know
things,
nothing
man.
about, half the disciples that we know nothing about
Bro,
could
can
have
you
been
like
Muslim, and I am
focus, man?
perfectly okay with it.
Okay, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm trying to say that you're conflating what a Muslim means with like how certain practices are upheld, like some certain legislations. Okay,
These were
like you're
like
saying
this. I'm trying to tell you, the
You're saying
earliest
Islam started
Christianity.
with Christianity. No, it didn't start with
No,
Christianity.
that's
It
just
started
what I'm
with the
trying to
first
tell you.
prophet.
You have Christianity belief. You're basically you follow the Mosaic law, but you have the Jesus Christ Messiah understanding. Like you understand that Jesus was a very important prophet. You're not denying
Okay,
this. So
then
this
Islam didn't
follows your
start with
doctrine.
Jesus. Then Islam didn't start with Jesus. Then Jesus just continued that Islamic concept, which is to worship Allah alone, just to worship the only true God and be submissive to Him. That's
Yeah,
it.
you said that Moses was a
Yeah,
Muslim. I kind of agree
but
with you because he had a beard. He lived in a desert, so
yeah,
that's
I
all.
mean, dude, you guys
Oh,
have
do you know what a
hadiths
Muslim
and
means? Do you know
hold
what a
people
Muslim means, man?
to higher regard,
So,
A
and they
definition of
talk about
Muslim,
Jesus.
like
So
look, the word is look,
I can't imagine you just saying it's Allah
just
when you
okay,
know it's the people who
okay.
created the hadiths, the scholars
Maybe
within the
you need me
hadiths.
to teach you about
So
it.
that's kind of weird, man. You can't say that.
Here's what differentiates Islam from like Judaism and Christianity because it's not named after a person or after a place or a region, right? Islam just means Islam is a concept which is the submission to the one true God that you absolutely submit to Him, right? So Christianity is named after Christ, it's named after something.
Whatever way you
Christ
shake it,
was
buddy. In
Christ,
the
right?
end, it means the same
Judaism is
thing.
named after a person who's named after Judah. Judah was the founder of what people called Judaism. Okay. Now, when it comes to Islam, we're saying that all the prophets were Muslim because Islam is to submit to the one true God, and being a Muslim is just the verb of that. It's just being that. It's
Yeah,
submission to
and
the.
I'm okay
Okay.
with that. It still
So,
doesn't change the
so
story.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even though Moses was a Muslim because he had a beard and lived in a desert, the Shah of Iran was also a Muslim,
that's
but
not
he lived in
why.
a
That's
palace
not
that
why
had
he
no
was
beard.
Muslim. Dude,
Well, I'll
stop
tell you,
trolling.
the Shah of
You're just
Iran
not
did
funny.
not even
You're just
have a
not
beard
funny.
and lived in a
You're not
palace.
funny. You're not funny. You're not funny. Shut up.
I
My
mean,
feeling.
to say that Moses was Muslim actually makes because he was never even allowed in what you would call it Israel. He wasn't even allowed in Israel.
Every prophet at his time was a Muslim because he submitted to the one true God. Okay, same thing as the
Yeah,
Prophet Muhammad. Now
but
we
bang,
believe
you
all of these
realize
other
by you
practices that
saying that
exist
it
nowadays are
still
just
doesn't change the
perversions.
story.
What story? What story that
Any
Jesus
story,
existed?
they
What
still
story?
all line up.
But was Haley
Didn't
Selassie a
didn't
Christian?
really
That's
say
the
it.
By you saying that they're Muslim and me agreeing with you would mean that they all follow one another. So I don't understand why you think by you saying that is like not agreeing with what I'm saying.
I'm
I
not
He's
totally
saying
trying to
they
agree with
say,
you.
follow. I'm not saying whether
well,
they're
he,
following
he,
each other or not. I'm saying they all, or they all come from the same source, which is God, right? Whether they follow each other or not is a different thing. Now the Prophet Muhammad has came from the same God, which gave us, which who sent Jesus, who sent Moses, right? Who sent Abraham. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
okay.
I
You guys
mean,
are like
you got to
arguing.
remember, there's a lot of disciples in the New Testament that we know nothing about. There's actually
Yeah, like
six of them that are never
Judas.
mentioned.
Like Judas, you guys keep telling everybody that Judas was the bad guy, but I in fact believe that he was in fact a volunteer to set Jesus' plan in action. Because like he's having dinner with everybody, right? And
He does.
then Jesus goes,
Jesus, the real symbolism behind Judas is that they're from Judah, and honestly it was the Jews who ratted him out. So
"We're all
it's just a name. It doesn't
no, no,
necessarily mean that it's a
okay,
person.
let me tell you the actual story. Okay, so what happened
The
was
actual
that at
story is,
dinner, he
if you look
says
up the
everybody,
name
whoever's gonna
Judas,
dip
it
the
also
tea
means
with me, the
Judea.
sauce is gonna betray me, right? And then Judas like wasn't paying attention or something, dips the bread like an idiot, and, and he makes it out of that dinner alive. So that's called a plot hole. Okay, plot hole. So in reality, what Jesus was trying to do was saying, I need someone to volunteer with me to sell me out so I can go to heaven and all that. And
Who do
Judas
you
was like,
think?
great,
Who do you
I met.
think were the Jews that said anything about my daily bread? Were the Pharisees?
Yeah, but everyone had daily bread.
The
I mean, that's what they ate
Sadducees
every
didn't
day.
think this. The Sadducees were up the asses of the Greeks, or the Romans, should I say?
Well, the
They
Greeks
were up
too,
their
because
ass. They weren't following anything. They were just yes men.
oh, like like Jews are today because they live in the U.S. Is
If
that
you
what you're trying to
if
say?
you follow the Pharisee line, it goes all the way now up to what is Ashkenazi, or would you say is Orthodox?
So you're telling me that a New Yorker Jew paying sales tax on a bagel is just as bad as the Pharisees? Is that what you're saying?
But why are the Pharisees bad?
I'm just trying to get it from
The
context.
only
You
ones
made
they
it
were
sound
the
like they
only
were
ones
bad.
that called each other rabbi. They were the only ones
Oh,
that actually they're the ones who kept to real Judaism. So if you're gonna say, right, that Christianity doesn't follow, but these were the people who actually set this oral law and doctrines, then it's inevitable for Jesus Christ, especially being a Pharisee, would be this prophecy that would come out, right?
oh, so it is like buying a bagel and paying sales tax. Got it.
What else do you want to talk about? You're not that fucking interesting anyway.
Well, yeah, I like talking to you. I don't you don't like talking to me, but I like talking to you. You're the only person I know on this planet that I can have a conversation with and not have to remember the things I said before. It's great.
Oh, because I try to keep the conversation flowing. I don't know.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
could be an asshole sometimes too, though.
Well, is that
But
Muslim
see,
guy still?
Bang doesn't like Bang. Only thinks that there's one truth, and it's Islam. And I'm trying to explain to him that I could believe Muhammad is the last prophet, peace be upon him, and still believe in the same God they do. It's just
Why
that
does
I
a
don't
Muslim?
know their I didn't grow up. In other words, my mother is not Muslim, right? So I don't know their customs. So there are things about that religion that obviously I'm never gonna understand. Only if I lived in those areas, right? Then then I would be able to live, eat, breathe, and shit what they understand. But I live in New York. And the Muslims that I know in New York are some pretty fucking good people. To me, they're really good people. I have not met a Muslim that was. I mean, there was this one dude at the corner store, and let me tell you something. He was a little awkward, but some dude tried to play him in the store. Yo, he beat the fucking piss out of this guy, bro. That was the only time I've ever seen. Yo, my man had flip flops on. He slapped the shit out of this motherfucker, bro. Every time he stood up, he slapped him back down, bro. He never punched him either.
Yeah. So I don't understand why Muslims draw the line at Muhammad, but they like Joseph Smith? No, because Joseph Smith is also a prophet, right? The Mormons. Why are they gatekeeping on Joseph Smith?
Because that's a derivative of Protestantism, which is part of the schism in the 1500s.
They're always talking about how Moses, what's his name, Muhammad was the last prophet, and then like denying everything. But it sounds like they have a vested interest in not in closing the doors on new members.
The problem is that there's so much evidence against Joseph Smith that it's hard to actually believe it.
Joseph who?
They built a functioning society in Utah, right? That's a lot better than
I mean,
Lebanon.
I'm going to say they're the white Muslims in America.
Yeah, but they did a good job building their society. I mean, you look at some of these Muslim countries, they're doing not so well.
I don't know.
Yeah, and we don't
I don't know.
respectfully. Israel gets so much,
Right?
foreign
They have
support with weapons, resources. It's not really a real country. It's more of like a benefit
busy in our
country.
wars, you know?
Seems pretty fucking stable. So does a lot of other Turkey.
Yeah, it's a benefit country. You get support by its foreign allies, like constantly money, streams of income, these
I
type
think
of
those
things.
countries are stable too. All the other countries used to be.
Yeah, until
Yeah, until
The
foreign intervention.
U.S. exploited those countries. What are you talking about?
Was taken yesterday afternoon at his son's 7th birthday in the city of Passo Fundo, Brazil. It was sent to the local news bureau there and sent to us via satellite just a few minutes ago. All initial opinions are this is genuine. What you're about to see may disturb you.
Why did Middle Eastern shot like just go away, man? Like I was like gone for a month, and when I come back, it's pretty much gone.
In any of those documents.
I don't recall that.
That's
no.
too specific.
Did you have any discussions with anyone at Disney about any future Pirates of the Caribbean role? A lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production?
No.
So she just wasn't
Did you have any
involved.
discussions with anyone at Disney
Thanks, Sylvan.
about the impact of the op-ed by Ms. Heard on the relationship between Disney and Mr. Depp including considering Mr. Depp for any work with Disney, any future Pirates of the Caribbean role, a lesser or greater role, a different role, or a different production?
Okay.
No.
Do you know whether Mr. Depp is being considered for a role in Pirates 6?
No.
And when you say no, I think I have to probably ask clarification. Does that mean you don't know one way or the other, or he is not being considered?
I don't know one way or the other.
Thank you.
Do you know?
So useful.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that decision doesn't fall within my job responsibility.
Then why are you here?
It's above my head. It's the best way to say it.
So what is the knowledge you have about Pirates 6?
Like I said, I just know that it's a project that's possibly in development at the studio.
Wow.
That's it.
Do you know whether anyone at Disney has ever even read the op-ed written by Ms. Heard?
No.
How could she know that?
Are you aware of anyone else at Disney who has knowledge of the topic areas in the deposition notice, that's deposition exhibit number 2?
What?
That beyond what you know?
I can't honestly say. I can't speak for someone
How would
else.
she know?
Like I explained earlier,
Bro,
my knowledge and
Bro.
what my job functionality is at the studio, at plateaus, and there are people that I work under, and those particular persons may or may not have more knowledge, but I can't speak on behalf of them.
Done.
Is Disney aware
It's
that
not.
Mr. Depp has testified under oath that he would not take another Pirates of the Caribbean franchise role for $300 million and a million alpacas?
No.
Would Disney
No.
entertain paying Mr. Depp more
Okay.
than $300 million and provide him with more than a million alpacas to be able to obtain his services for any future Pirates of the Caribbean role?
Oh my God.
No.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number
It was just a joke.
52
Yeah.
to Alan Horn. Who's that?
Like, what about 200?
He was our co-chairman.
Of Disney?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And Alan Bergman, who's he?
Same. He's the other co-chairman of Disney, or was
Uh-huh.
at the time.
And then Sean Bailey, you indicated, was the president?
It's our
Okay.
president of production, correct.
Okay, and then Ricky Strauss, who's he?
Yeah?
I believe at the time he was the head of our marketing group.
And Paul Rader?
Paul Reeder is the head of communications.
All right, and this is from Angela Shaw, and it's dated 5/10/2017.
Okay, all right, let's see it.
Do you see that?
Yes.
And it says, subject HR, Johnny Depp, a star in crisis, and the insane story of his missing millions. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any understanding as to why Angela Shaw was sending this communication to this group, the two co-chairmen, the
Okay,
president,
thanks for 5 subs.
vice president of production, head of communications on this particular day?
What do you think?
I don't know what the intent of the email is, but obviously we have a relationship as a company with Johnny, so I assume that's why she may be bringing it to their attention.
Okay.
All right, and just to take that a little bit further, given that Disney has a relationship with Johnny Depp, if there is publicity relating to Johnny Depp, whether it be positive or negative, that would be relevant to Disney, would it not?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say how it's relevant to
course.
Disney, but given that Angela is part of communications, it's her job to, keep the studio abreast, I guess, of
Absolutely.
anything concerning the
How's that
company,
even a
so
question?
That's about as far as I can read into it.
Okay. And so that's your interpretation of why Angela Shaw sent this to that group of people, was to keep them apprised of this particular article. on
Disney's
Johnny Depp.
smart for doing this, by the way. I'll explain
That
why
would be
when
my
I finish.
assumption.
I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been labeled as exhibit number 53, and it is Disney 114 through 137.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you if you recognize this document.
Right. You have their name? No.
Well, it looks like an internal email. It may have been part of the disclosure documents.
Okay.
This one's from Alan Horn, and I think we've identified Alan Horn before. Well, actually, it starts with, let's start down here. On June 21st, 2018, all right, and then it has a reply
Alan,
from
what?
Sean Bailey, SAG. Do you see that?
Yes.
What was Mr. Bailey's position with Disney on June 21st, 2018?
I believe he was the president then.
That's big.
He may have been the EVP. I don't know.
That's big.
Okay. And then we have an email at the top. It's to Sean Bailey.
Okay.
CC Janelle Tipton. And then it has some copies to some other people. It's from Alan Horn. I believe we said he was one of the co-directors. Is that correct?
Co-chairman.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I get it.
And Alan Bergman, the Rolling Stones article.
Okay.
About Johnny Depp back in this time frame.
I honestly don't remember if I ever read this document. I may have.
Do you have any understanding of why this would be sent from Alan Horn to these other individuals on the top?
Again, same as before, just because of the fact that we have a relationship with Johnny. So they may have determined it was important to bring it to their attention.
All right, Ms. Newman, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 54. And do you recognize this document?
Yes, it looks like a email.
Please tell me, please describe it for me.
It's an email, well, it started from Scott to myself. Scott Sellers is in Post Finance.
Okay.
And then I replied to Scott.
All right.
So it looks like an email exchange between the two of us.
All right, and you said Scott Sellers is in Post Finance?
Correct.
What is that?
He handles all finances once film goes into post-production on any given picture. Also reporting for the studio, internal reporting, finances.
Okay.
Right. And this is July 14, 2018 that he's sending this to you, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall reading the story that was in the Rolling Stone, The Trouble with Johnny Depp?
So she's going to say she
I
didn't...
mean, to be honest, I don't really remember much about the story, but obviously I must have looked at it.
I'm so mad.
And commented.
Right, and in fact, you commented depressing. Do you see that?
Yes.
So she said it was
And
depressing?
Just to, go back to refreshing your recollection on the template, do you see that it has importance and received on this?
The fuck?
Yes.
Ms. Newman, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as deposition exhibit number 56. And it is a document also produced by Disney, and there's the date stamps, Disney 167 through 177.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask you to take a look at the top there. This is to Alan Bergman from...
Why is she here? I don't know.
THR's Today and
Disney put her
Entertainment.
here.
Do you understand what that is?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to turn down to 169. It says Johnny Depp's legal team prepares for court hearing about Amber Heard abuse claims. The actor's camp is previewing the evidence that it will present in an upcoming court hearing in the UK this fall, tied to a defamation lawsuit against the Sun for an article that labeled the actor a, quote, wife beater, end of quote. Katie Kalani reports. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you have a recollection of learning about this and reading
Disney
about
Depp after Rolling Stone article, not the editorial?
In this time frame, we're talking
I see.
October 2018.
I may have seen a headline come across my desk in the same manner as Alan received it, but that's probably as far as it went.
It's just, but...
Ms. Newman, I'm going to show you what has been marked as deposition number 60.
Oh my
And
God,
it's
bro.
Dated November 5, 2020. And it says Disney reportedly scraps plans for Depp's POTC 6. I'm assuming that's Pirates of the Caribbean 6 return. You see that? Question was, did you see it?
Yes, I see it.
As you sit here today, are you aware of any document in Disney's
How could she be aware?
emails or in their IT system
How?
or anywhere that contains Amber Heard's op-ed from December of 2018?
How could she know that?
I mean, no, not that I'm aware.
Are you aware of any decision maker within Disney
Okay.
who has ever said they are not casting Johnny Depp in Pirates 6 or any other role because of Amber Heard's op-ed?
No.
Are you aware of any decision maker outside of Disney? And by this, I'm including producers, directors, people of that ilk, who have ever said they were not considering Mr. Depp for Pirates 6 or any other movie because of Amber Heard's op-ed from December 2018?
No.
Okay. Bro, please go on break. Please.
All right.
Please. Please go on break.
How much time's
We have an 11-minute one.
Okay, that's fine. What's your next witness?
Ellen Barkin.
Okay, let's see it. What a bunch of fucking horse shit.
Thank you.
They get some middle manager to go over there that doesn't fucking know anything, and they put her there because she doesn't fucking know anything, and that's it. Who cares? Who gives a fuck?
Morning. I think the first thing
It's got
that would
nothing
be
to do
very
with it.
Short but very simple and clean for the record is if you could
This is
just
so annoying.
describe
I'm pissed.
kind of your career background. I know it's very lengthy, but just give a
Okay, here we go. Let's see
brief
this.
summary of kind of when you started working and what you've done during your career.
What the fuck, man? All right,
I started acting professionally about 26 or 7.
Yeah.
And I did theater, television, movies, lots of them.
Okay.
That's what I did for 40 years.
All righty.
And in the course of your career acting in theater, television, movies, etc., did you come to meet a person by the name of Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Can you specify in time, Ms. Barkin, when you met him?
I would say 1990.
And upon or after meeting him, did there come a time when you became friends?
Yes.
Okay.
And can you describe how that happened?
We just developed a friendship over time that lasted, I guess, if we met in the 90s.
30 years.
Maybe 10 years, or a little less.
Till then. Okay.
And
Let's say it was a while ago.
fair to say that Mr. Depp at the time was also an actor, a professional actor?
Yes.
Okay.
Were you, did you act in any film, stage, or TV productions with Mr. Depp?
Yes, I was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
How often would you see Mr. Depp?
When I lived in New York, usually whenever I go to L.A., if I were in L.A., I'd see him once a week, maybe more. I mean, the friendship went up and down.
Okay.
Living on different coasts.
All right.
And did there come a time when your friendship with Mr. Depp became more than that, became romantic in nature?
Yes.
And
My
at
man.
what point in time did your relationship with Mr. Depp take a romantic turn?
Okay.
After I had moved to Hollywood,
Yeah.
and he, you know, switched the buttons.
Recall what year you moved to Hollywood?
Yes.
It's like what?
1994.
Interesting way to
When
put
you
it.
say switch the buttons, can you tell me what you meant by that?
The friendship went from a purely platonic friendship to a romantic one.
Okay. Sure.
At that point in 1994, when the relationship turned romantic, to your
Can you change that to sexual?
To sexual.
Thank you.
For how long did your relationship with
my
Mr.
God.
Depp remain sexual?
Several months.
Jesus.
Anywhere between 3 and 5,
Wow.
6.
And during that period, how often would you see Mr. Depp? That period when it was sexual?
I'd say I'd see him 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
And again, I'm not looking to pry into private details, but can you tell me, like, where you would see him? Just give me some sense of that.
Yeah, he would come to my house, or I would go to his house.
And both houses in L.A.?
Yes, about 10-minute drive apart from each other.
And at either when you were at his house,
Alrighty.
where you didn't stay the night, or where you were at his house when you did stay the night, were there other people in the house who saw you there? Who would those people be?
He had an assistant. His sister.
Yeah.
That's all I can remember now.
Do you recall the name of the assistant?
I don't know his name. He was referred to as Pig.
He was referred to by whom as Pig?
Johnny Depp.
At any point that you were either initially friends and then sexual with Mr. Depp, did you become aware that he
what the fuck?
Drank to excess?
I was always aware.
Okay, and can you explain how you were aware of that?
He was drunk all the time, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that would apply both to when you were initially friends and then later when it became sexual.
Yeah.
And what was he drunk? What was your understanding? What had he drunk to become drunk?
He was a red wine drinker.
Okay. In addition to alcohol,
Yeah.
were you aware at that time that Mr. Depp
It's awful.
was taking any prescription medication?
No.
Okay. Same question, Mr. Barkin, for illegal substances.
Yes.
Same question. And what illegal substances?
Okay.
Hallucinogenics. Cocaine. Marijuana.
Hallucinogenics?
Yeah.
Can you say specifically what those were?
I don't really know. He called me and told me he was tripping.
All right.
With respect to any of that, hallucinogenics, cocaine, or marijuana, did he do any of that in your presence?
Yeah. He's tripping.
More than once?
All the time.
All the
When
time.
you say all the time, how many times, again, in the period that you were both first friends and sexual, then sexual with Mr. Depp, do you think you saw him?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, I just know he was always drinking. And or smoking joints.
It's good new information
Would it
here.
be fair to say more than at least dozens of times?
Yeah.
Sure.
Over the full course, oh yeah.
Okay. I would have never guessed such a
Did you
dramatic
ever,
change of events.
Observe, Ms. Barkin, Mr. Depp's behavior change when he drank more or used more drugs?
I did not.
So he was kind of the same all the time, fair to say?
It was not the same. He was high.
Did there come a time, Ms. Barkin, when Mr. Depp acted in a way that was out of control with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Depp threw a wine bottle across the room, the hotel room on one instance in Las Vegas while we were shooting Fear and Loathing in Las
Method acting?
Vegas.
Was something about to happen?
Okay. A fight was going on.
Between you and Mr. Depp?
No.
Who was the fight between?
Between Johnny Depp and his friends in the room, the assistant. Honestly, I don't remember.
And the bottle that
Just
you
fucking-
remember sitting here today, Ms. Barkin, whether the bottle was full of wine or empty?
Fucking pig, man.
Sitting here today, Ms. Barkin, do you remember
Just imagine, God damn
whether
it,
the
pig.
bottle hit you?
No, it did not.
Did the bottle hit anyone else?
No, it did not.
Yeah. Okay.
Approximately how far away from you was Mr. Depp when he threw the bottle?
Yeah.
Across the room, so maybe by that break in the table or a little further down.
Uh-huh.
It was a toss.
And
okay.
Sitting here today, if the bottle had hit you, would it have injured you?
Sure.
Ms. Barkin, was it
No
your understanding
shit.
back then that he was throwing the bottle at you?
I don't know why he threw the bottle.
And was it when he threw it? Was it in your direction?
Yes.
Were there other people standing around you?
Yes.
So he threw it in your direction at a group of people.
Yes.
Okay.
Whose hotel room was it?
His Johnny Depp's.
Who broke off?
He did.
How did it come about that Mr. Depp broke off your relationship?
I went to go home. There was a big goodbye, crying, a lot of jealous, don't do this, don't do that. And I never heard from him again after that.
And did Mr. Depp not want you to go back to Los Angeles
Uh-huh.
at the time?
Yes, he didn't want me to go. I was only supposed to be there for 2 days. I stayed for longer.
Uh-huh.
And you just referenced, you just used the word jealous. How did that come up? What did he say that indicated to you that he was jealous?
He's just a jealous man, controlling. Where are you going? Who are you going with? What did you do last night? I had a scratch on my back once that got him very, very angry because he insisted it came from me having sex with a person who wasn't him.
During the time that you were in a sexual relationship with Mr. Depp, was it common for him to say things to you about being controlling, to use your words, or being jealous of you?
Yeah, very common.
And when, in these instances, when Mr. Depp became jealous or controlling, did he also become angry?
Yeah.
Okay.
And demanding.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go
Wow.
take an afternoon recess. Please do not discuss the case.
Okay.
And do not do any outside research, okay? We'll see you back in 15 minutes.
Okay, who is this? So this is a girl that he had a relationship with like 30 years ago. And apparently they were drunk in Las Vegas and he threw a bottle across the room. And nobody got hurt. And apparently nobody ever thought anything of this. And he was arguing with people in the room. So I'm not really sure, man. And like...
Come back at 3:45.
that he
Is it
broke
good
up with
time
her,
to
but he was
be
a
ready?
jealous
Okay.
one. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. Never got out of pirate role of being a pirate. He enjoys the trips. Yeah, it's like, all right, let me look at this here. So they're really trying to use the 30-year-old hippie who into the business to rehearse the case points for him? Well, here's the thing, right, is that, in my opinion, like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, what does this mean at all? Like, I have no idea. It's like, I don't, like... So he had an argument with her like how many fucking years ago? Like what the fuck does this mean to me? Like basically nothing. She had the same injuries as Amber. Coincidence? Johnny only injures in the same areas in his abuse. Well, she didn't have any injuries. She had a scratch on her back. That's nothing. It's like, yeah, she didn't even say that was from her. Still not abuse. Nothing illegal about being addicted or jealous. Throwing the bottle is bad. I think that we can all agree. Throwing the bottle, being drunk and throwing the bottle is a bad thing. This is not something you should do. I would say this is not good. Like, I think we can all agree on that. You should not throw bottles around. That's it. Why is no cross-examination? That's a great fucking question. It absolutely is.
State your name and address for the record. Michelle Mulrooney, Los Angeles,
Okay.
California. 90067.
Well, I want to talk about this more. I really do. Like, I
Ms.
could go on
Mulrooney,
about this
what
a
is your
lot.
occupation?
A lot.
I'm a partner at Venable LLP, an attorney.
She got the Nick Marks camera angle.
Could you just please describe give me a brief description of your educational background and work history?
Okay, I attended USC and received my undergraduate degree in 1982. And then I again attended USC and received my law degree in 1985.
Jesus, this is a long time ago.
I then worked for Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher until 1991. And then I worked for an entertainment law firm that was originally called Armstrong Hirsch when I joined it, then later morphed into several names. And then in 2011, I joined Venable LLP as a partner.
Okay.
Thank you. What are your areas of practice and expertise?
I'm head of the estate planning, the West Coast estate planning group for Venable.
So this is for rich people.
Does that estate planning involve any aspect of marital estate planning, such as things like prenups and postnups, prenuptials, postnuptials?
Yes, we frequently do prenups, cohabitation, and postnup agreements for our clients.
Would you please briefly describe what a prenuptial and a postnuptial is?
A prenuptial agreement is where spouses contract on the economics of their marriage before they are married.
Postnup.
And they discuss things as the nature.
Yeah, that's when you tell her to leave.
The things as the nature of the property, community separate, etc., and also things like spousal support. And in a postnup, the clients do that after they're married.
Right.
They contract on the same issues.
Do you regularly represent actors?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm asking very narrowly, did there come a time when Amber Heard contacted you for representation respecting a prenup or a postnup agreement?
At some point, I was contacted about an Amber Heard prenup.
Okay.
Ms. Mulroney, I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 3, and it's an email from you to a Dana Lowry. Do you know who Dana Lowry is?
Yes.
And could you please tell us who Dana Lowry is?
She's a family law attorney practicing in Los Angeles.
And this is dated Monday, February 2, 2015, and says, I look forward to working with you. Please send me, this is from you, please send me the bullet points for the economics of the deal. When you are back in the office tomorrow, I will have Amber's business manager get her financial information to me ASAP. I also like to exchange 2 years of tax returns, but not attach them. Is this your general practice? Let me know. Think. Who did Dana Lowry represent?
Johnny Depp.
I take it Amber in the actual document is Amber Heard.
That would make sense. Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And if I just direct your attention to the top of the email where it says February 2nd, get control here. February 2, 2015. What, if anything, does this do to refresh your recollection on when approximately you were contacted about representing Amber Heard in connection with the prenup?
It makes the approximate date more clear to me.
Okay, cute.
And based on this, when approximately were you contacted to represent Amber Heard in connection with the prenup or postnup?
The early part of February, the late part of January, or the early part of February 2015.
All righty.
Ms. Mulroney, I'm going to ask you to take a look at what has been marked as exhibit number 4. And it is an email from
Amber's
you
trying to slip up and call Amber
to
Turd.
Dana Lowry,
Imagine
which is
that.
Mr. Depp's counsel, correct?
Oh my God.
During this time
Her
period.
own lawyer refers to her as that?
And it's dated Tuesday,
Oh,
February
shit.
3. And I'm going to scroll down first so we get the earliest part of it. And the first part of it is an email from Dana Lowry to you, dated February 3rd at 10:13, and says J/A deal points. Do you know what J/A means? I'm going to take you, first of all, to the bottom part, which is the J/deal points. Do you have an understanding of what J/A means?
What does that mean? What's this?
I believe it means Johnny/Amber deal points.
Sure.
Absent a prenuptial agreement or a postnuptial agreement,
Is
is California what we call a common law property state?
No,
What is it?
it's a community property state.
Okay.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Generally means that all earnings after the date of marriage are owned 50. Each party has an undivided 50%